My Lords, I'm sure the whole House will be grateful to the Minister and to the Noble Lord the Minister and acknowledge his decision to accept the recommendation of the Delegated Powers and Regulatory Review Committee. In relation to this group of amendments, I gave notice to the Noble Lord the Minister that there were two questions I was going to ask him so that I could hear what he had to say at the dispatch box before we decided our attitude to these amendments. And he's dealt with the first one already. I think it's very important that he has stated at the dispatch box that the measure is to apply to all local bus services, whether franchised, privately operated, or run by a local authority bus company that is directly owned and a subsidiary, and that there is nothing here that discriminates against or disadvantages private bus companies. So I've heard what the Minister says, and I'm grateful, I'm glad to be able to note that. My second was more in the nature of a question. I think it is a very important consideration. We have a bus manufacturing business industry in this country. We make quite a lot of buses, and we're quite good at it, and we employ a reasonable number of people in the manufacture of buses. When all buses are going to be zero emission, what assurances do we have that British industry is going to be in a position to make zero emission buses in the numbers required, and that the outcome of this measure is not going to be a flooding of Britain with Chinese or other buses made overseas to the detriment of good British jobs and good British businesses. Understanding the Department's view on where this path is taking us in relation to manufacturing and employment is something that's increasingly to the fore in the minds of people considering the net zero journey, if I may call it that. So the views of the Minister and the Department of that are going to be of crucial importance to us.
Does he remember, let me put it this way, that the biggest bus manufacturer in the United Kingdom for many years was Leyland buses. Does he remember what happened when they asked for a government subvention in order to stay afloat? The company then went bust. So is it not rather strange that he should now advocate that buses should be made and built in Britain when the last Conservative government let our biggest bus operator go to the wall?
My Lords, I recall that my childhood was punctuated by almost monthly demands for subventions from Leyland as an operator, that they were often granted, that they were given in exchange for improvements in productivity, improvements in manufacturing. Eventually, someone had to stop it, and that was a simple fact of the matter. I was in that part of the world not so very long ago. It is sad that Leyland are not manufacturing buses and trucks, but they have left behind them the most splendid museum. And I had an extremely enjoyable day looking at the marvellous old buses and lorries which can be found at the site, and which I recommend very much to the Noble Lord when he is next there. It's an appropriate legacy. But let us now see what can be done, that government policy allows existing successful businesses to continue and is not set to destroy them.
Could he tell us how he managed to escape from the museum? I'm amazed they never kept him there.
My Lords, I have now sat down.